Hello and welcome to BBSN. This is Anthony, and normally I would be doing one of my other projects, the Judge Jackson project, as I like to rotate between the three I have going. But after the 12-0 beatdown administered by the Browns on the 1977 Yankees in the last game, we decided to come back and do game 2 of the 4-game set between the 1922 Browns and the 1977 Yankees in our Strat Time Machine replay. And in the opening game of this series, the Browns absolutely lambasted New York pitching, winning to the tune of 12-0, a game in which they pounded out 22 hits. So the Yankees will look to get some revenge and get back to even today in the series. And starting lineups are down there for the Browns. Jack Tobin, he is currently hitting .426 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs in this replay. Eddie Foster, he is only making his second start, hitting .200. George Sisler is hitting .348. Paltry compared to some of the figures on this team. He has no home runs, 8 RBIs, and has scored 11. Ken Williams is hitting .419, has 1 home run, leads the team with 14 ribbies, and has scored 10 times. Baby Doll Jacobson is hitting .409. He has no home runs, 9 RBIs, 4 runs scored. Marty McManus checks in at .370, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 10 runs scored. Hank Severide, coming off a huge day in the opener of the series, is hitting .444, which leads this team. He has no home runs, 8 RBIs, has scored 3 times. DH Chick Shorten, back in the lineup today, is hitting .200 with 1 home run, 7 RBIs, 6 runs scored. And Wally Gerber is hitting .310, no home runs, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. So the Brownies are hitting a robust .339 as a team and still have a team ERA of just under 3. The exception to that is today's pitcher, Dixie Davis. He is 1-1 and has a .527 ERA, so opportunity for the Yankees to get some payback for what the Browns did to their pitching yesterday. The Yankees lineup, as played with one exception. Mickey Rivers leads it off in center. Roy White is in left, hits second. Thurman Munson will be behind the plate, hitting third. Cliff Johnson will bat cleanup and be the designated hitter. And the actual DH in this game was Jimmy Wynn, who is not carded for this team. I could have brought Reggie Jackson back, but decided to rest him because he was not in this actual lineup. So my choices were between Cliff Johnson and Dave Kingman as a DH. And I think I made the right choice. This is Dave Kingman's basic card from 1977. And basically we used to talk about him. He was a clout or an out back in the day. And that's pretty much what you see here. In fact, column 3. Nothing but strikeouts. Column 2, strikeouts in every position except 2, which is line out into as many outs as possible. And only in column 1, where he has a walk and then home runs. And even there, a couple of strikeouts at 7 or 8. So it would be fun to put Kingman in the lineup to see how many times he could strike out. Just not today. The Yankees are out for blood today. Back to the lineups. Pinella bats 5th. He'll be at first. Nettles will be at third base, hitting 6th. Willie Randolph at second base, bats 7th. Paul Blair will be in right field tonight, hitting 8th. And Bucky Dent at shortstop, and he will bat 9th. The pitchers, as mentioned for the Browns, Dixie Davis. And in this actual game against Toronto, the Yankees sent Gil Patterson out to the mound, but he came in yesterday in long relief due to the fact that they got to Figueroa early. So Ron Guidry will be on the mound tonight for the Yankees, and he actually did pitch in this game back in 1977 when the Yankees played the Jays. So based on that, I think it's okay to start him. In this actual game where the Blue Jays played the Yankees on April 8, 1977, the Blue Jays throttle the Yankees 8-1 behind the pitching of Jerry Garvin, went to 3-0. And Patterson, as mentioned, pitched for the Yankees, and he went to 0-1 with the loss. And the 77 Blue Jays after this game were 7-5. Currently, the Browns through 11 games are 9-2. Good enough for first place in the American League East at this point based on as played records, and they can go to 10-2 with a win here. So formalities aside, Tobin is in the batter's box and Gator's ready to go. So let's roll. All right, Guidry the pitch, and that's going to be a ground out. And why am I doing it this way? Brr. Okay, that'll be a ground out to first base. Piniella puts that away. Well, we kind of started this way yesterday with 3 up, 3 down first inning for the Browns, so I'm not going to read a thing into that. That's going to be a ground ball down to first base, and Piniella is not exactly stellar at first base. 18. Will probably be a roll again. Nope, out. No runners on base. All right, so that's a 3 unassisted. And George Sisler up, and Sisler, 4 Browns hitting over 400. Surprisingly, he is not one of them, as he did hit over 400 in 1922, and that is going to be a strikeout. So Gator with the K. So Guidry gets off to a good start, and going into the bottom of the first, the Brownies do not crack the scoreboard, but again, that happened yesterday too. And Dixie Davis takes the hill for the Browns. Mick the Quick, Mickey Rivers set to lead it off for the Yanks. And the Yankees have blood in their eye. The Browns yesterday said, so this was the best team in baseball in '77. We can hang, and they did. 4-5 is going to be a walk, however. So Mickey Rivers on base, and he will try and steal on a roll of 5 or less. Does not. So up next will be Mr. Dependable Roy White. White in left field today. Played in right field yesterday's game. And that's a 6-7 on Davis's card. That'll be a ground ball down to shortstop. And Marty McManus, he is a good fielding short, or Wally Gerber, sorry, he is a 2. And 19 and a 2, and that is going to be a 1-base error. So, as I say, good fielding shortstop. Gerber boots it. And we have an E6 and 2 Yankees on, no outs. So they're looking to get out of the gate fast today. Get a little payback. Thurman Munson up. 5-8. And that's going to be a split chance. And Munson turns on that, cranks it down the left field line, wraps it inside the foul pole, and the Yankees are off to a 3-0 lead in this one. And bottom of the first inning, well on their way to a little payback. And of those 3 runs, the run by White will be unearned, reaching on the air. A 3-run shot for the Yankee captain, and that gets them off to the start they hoped for. Cliff Johnson up now, designated hitter. And 3-11, and Johnson singles, just missed a home run there. So Davis has struggled by far more than any of the Browns starters, and he's in real trouble here early on. 1-6 to Piniella. Piniella smokes that one, and that's going to rattle around down in the right field corner. And Piniella, chugging around second base, is going to end up at third base with a triple. Cliff Johnson comes in to score on the walk, and we have a 4-0 Yankee lead, still nobody out. So this is turning into the exact opposite, actually very similar to yesterday's game with the other team on top. 3-8 to Craig Nettles, and that'll be a pop out to first base, first out of the inning. Sisler puts Nettles away, 1 down. Piniella gets his lead on third. Willie Randolph up, 1-5, and that is going to be a ground ball down to third base. And up with that is Foster over to first base. Piniella has to hold. Paul Blair up 2 outs now, and Dixie Davis looking to get out of this without any further damage. 5 and a 7, and that's a ground ball down to second base, and that will go to McManus, who is one of the better fielders on this Browns team. He is a 1 and a roll of 5, and that will be a ground out. So, after starting off extremely shaky, Davis sets down the final 3 batters of the inning, but the Yankees play 4 runs and do so on 3 hits. One of those runs was unearned. We head to the top of the second inning. Yankees off quick in this one, lead at 4-0. Trying hard to contain my joy because this is about the Browns, but you know, Yankees are my team. Ron Guidry facing the dangerous Ken Williams to start the second inning. Gator, the pitch. And 3 1/8 is going to be a single. So we saw this play out yesterday too after a 3 down first inning. And Williams, he'll try and steal on a roll of 1 to 5, does not. Babied all up, Guidry the pitch, and 6-10, and that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. Randolph has to range far to his left, not going to get Williams at second, who makes it in safely. So Jacobson grounds out 4-3. Marty McManus up now, pitch from Gator. 1 and 5, and that's going to be a single, advance 2, so the Browns are on the board as McManus drives in Williams, and it is now 4-1. Hank Severide, who had a huge day yesterday, 4 RBIs, was our player of the game, and he's going to take up right where he left off as he takes that one and gaps that. He's going to end up at second base with a double. And McManus is a 14. He's going to give it a shot. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he is in there safely. So the Brownies coming right back, and it is 4-2 now after the RBI double by Severide. So it's the bottom of the order again that starts the damage here, opens the floodgates. And 5 and a 10 to Chick Shorten, and that's going to be catcher's card X, Thurman Munson. And Thurman is a 2. And pass ball followed by a strikeout. So that gets Severide over to third base. And Shorten goes down swinging, 2 outs. Gerber up now, and Guidry looking to get out of this without further damage. Here comes a pitch, 2-11, and that's going to be a walk. So back to the top of the order, and this was not the scenario Gator wanted to get into early. Runners on base, and the tough hitters coming up. And 4 and a 9 struck him out. So Gator with the K. Louisiana Lightning gets out of it, but the Brownies do plate 2. They do so on 3 hits. We're heading to the bottom of the second inning. Our score is 4-2. Yankees lead this one as we have the makings of a slugfest here. Dixie Davis back on the mound for the Browns. And with a sparse bullpen, only 3 relievers out there for St. Louis, he's going to be expected to go as long as he can. 6 and a 4, and that's a split chance single, and Dent lines that one back up the middle. Bucky F. and Dent, he will try and steal on a roll of 2. Not happening. Back to the top of the order, Mickey Rivers up. Rivers walked and scored his first time up back in the first inning, last inning. 5 and 10 from Dixie Davis, and that's going to be a ground ball to third base, and Eddie Foster is a 4. And 4 and a 10, and that's going to be another error, 1 base error there. So the Brownies getting bit by a lack of defense here. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Roy White up. White reached on an error by shortstop Gerber. 2 and a 7, and that's going to be a walk. So the bases are loaded. As White trots down to first, and up comes Thurman Munson, and he went yard his first time up, a 3-run shot. Can he do it again? The pitch from Davis. 4 and a 10 is going to be a fly ball center field X. And out there is Baby Doll, who is a 1. That'll probably be a roll again. 19, roll 20-sided again. And a 4. And that is going to be a shallow fly out, and runners are going to have to hold. So Munson had a chance to strike a big blow and cannot get that deep enough to bring the runner home from third. So F8, 1 down, Cliff Johnson up. And a double play now for the Brownies would be huge. 3 and a 5, and not going to happen. Johnson wraps that one. And that's going to be a single, runners advance 2. So coming around to score are Bucky F. and Dent and Mick the Quick. Ending up at third base will be Roy White, and Cliff Johnson has a 2-run single. And again, another one of those runs will be unearned due to the error. So runners at the corners, 1 out. Sweet Lou Piniella up. Piniella knocks dirt off his spikes, waits for the pitch, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And Tobin is a 2. It's going to be a roll again. No, it's not going to be a roll again. That is going to be a fly out, and runner on third scores. Other runners hold. Got a little bit presumptuous there. So that also will be an unearned run, as will every run, or any more runs that score this inning. So sac fly, 9, ribby for Piniella. And 2 outs for Greg Nettles. Runner on first base, Davis, struggling here early. 2 and an 8, and Nettles grounds that down to third base. Foster up it over to Sisler, and they are out of the inning. But the Yankees bats a fire, and they plate 3 more runs and do so on the benefit of only 2 hits. A walk and an error also thrown in there along with a sac fly. So we're heading to the top of the third. Our score, New York 7, St. Louis 2. And we are definitely heading down shootout territory in this one. But Gator, Louisiana Lightning, says, not if I have anything to say about that. Top of the third, Eddie Foster up. Grounded out to first his first time up, 2 and a 5, and it's going to be a single. So the Brownies, they just keep hitting these single rolls. They're going to on-base you to death. 3 and a 6 to George Sisler, and that's going to be a split chance. Probably going to be a triple, and it is. Sisler smokes that down the right field line. That's going to bring Foster around to score. And Sisler into third base with a head-first slide and gets in there ahead of the throw by Blair. So the Browns, they are not going to go away. They can put runs on the scoreboard. In fact, averaging, if I remember correctly, averaging over 5 runs a game, thus far almost 6. Ken Williams, the batter, 4 and a 5, and it's going to be a ground ball down to short. Bucky F. and Dent's a 2, and 15, 2 on shortstop. And that will be an out. And other runners advance. So Sisler's going to come home to score on the 6-3 ground out. And an RBI for Williams, and that cuts the lead now to 7-4. But it empties the bases, and Baby Doll Jacobson steps in. Gator the pitch, 4 and a 5. That's going to be a ground ball to short as well. 19, and that's going to be a one-base error on Bucky Dent. So the Yankees get into the E column there. 2 errors for the Brownies, now 1 for the Yanks. Marty McManus up, Gator the pitch. 4-9, struck him out. Big strikeout for Gator, and 2 down. Hank Severide the batter, and Severide picked right up where he left off yesterday with a run-scoring double back in the 2nd inning. And 2 and an 8, that's going to be a sharply struck ball, but right at Nettles, who puts that away. So that gets the Yankees out of the 3rd, but the Browns chip away 2 more runs, and we're heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Score Yankees 7, Browns 4. And again, this continues to have all the makings of a wild, wild game. Dixie Davis going to be forced to trot back out as the Brownies again have limited resources in the bullpen, but Bill Bain is up and throwing. He will come in if Davis continues to struggle as he has. Willie Randolph leads it off for the Yanks, and 6-6 is a walk. And Willie, he's going to try and steal. The Yankees, they don't care what the score is. They're going to run. Does not happen though. Paul Blair up, the speedy right fielder. And 6-11, that's going to be a fly ball to right field X. And again out there, Jack Tobin is a 2. 2 and a 7, that's going to be a fly out runner's hold. So back to first, scampers Willie Randolph and Bucky F. and Dent up. Dent, whose face and poster adorn the walls of many a bedroom in Boston with darts in it. Here we go, 4 and an 8, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field, runner's hold. So back to the top of the order now, 2 down, runner on first, Mickey Rivers, trying to see if he can keep the Yankees in the scoring column. And that's going to be a strikeout. So Mick the Quick goes down flailing there at a fastball from Davis. And the Yankees are shut down in the 3rd inning. We head to the top of the 4th. Our score, New York 7, St. Louis 2. And the Browns now are going to see if they can further dent that lead. As Gator back on the mound to face Chick Shorten, who struck out his first time up. 6 and a 7, and Gator. Shorten rips that, but that's going to be right at Willie Randolph, who puts that away, 1 down. L4 on the putout. And shortstop Wally Gerber up. Gerber has an error in today's game, has also made a nice play. 1 and a 9, and that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. And Bucky Dent takes care of his counterpart on the Browns. Back to the top of the order, 2 down, nobody on. Jack Tobin 0 for 2 against Guidry. 5-5, and struck him out. 2nd time he's gone down on strikes. Gator with the slider there. Yokes him up, and the Brownies go down 1-2-3 in the 4th. Heading to the bottom of the 4th inning, the Yankees lead this 7-4. And on the strength of his 3-up, 3-down inning, Dixie Davis will come back out for the Browns, despite the fact he's given up 7 runs. 3 of them have been unearned, however. So not getting a lot of help behind him from his teammates. Bill Bain continues to loosen up, though, in the St. Louis bullpen, and 4 and 11. And that's going to be a ground ball X to first. And Sisler is a 1 and a roll of 20. Roll 20-sided die again. And 14 is a ground out. He takes that unassisted. So Roy White is retired, 1 down. Thurman Munson. Munson has homered and flown out to center. His home run back in the 1st was a 3-run shot, 5 and a 7 from Davis, and that's going to be a ground ball down to 2nd base. And again, Marty McManus is a 1, 3 and a 1, and he gets to that, picks it up, whips it over to Sisler, 2 down. So Davis apparently has found the elixir after the second inning. He has now set down the last 5 Yankees he's faced. Cliff Johnson up and make it 6. Right back to Davis. He picks it up, lobs it over to Sisler, and the Yankees again are kept off the scoreboard. Hey, we have 4 innings in the books. Yankees still lead this one 7-4. And Eddie Foster will lead things off for the visitors from St. Louis. Foster's grounded out single. Gator gets a sign from Munson. Here comes a pitch. Pops him up. Willie Randolph under that. And 1 down. George Sisler had a run-scoring triple his last time up. Pitch from Gator. And Sisler rips that. And that's through. Randolph can't get to that. A single for George Sisler. And he gets the lead. He's going to try and steal on a roll of 6 or less. He's going. And he is a double-A. Munson will deduct 3 from his arm. So 1-14 to be safe. Sisler goes. Here comes a throw from Munson. Guns him down on a close play. So Sisler caught stealing as Thurman Munson comes up big. And that's 2 down now, with Ken Williams coming up. And Gator, the pitch to Williams, and that's going to be a ground ball down to third. And Greg Nettles is a 1 there, a very stellar fielding third baseman, 17, and he picks that up, whips it over to first base, and Williams is gone. So the Browns do get a single, but nobody is left on base as Sisler's thrown out stealing. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning, still 7-4 Yanks. And Dixie Davis trot out again. He seems to have settled down after starting extremely rough, giving up 7 runs in the first 2 innings. He has since set down 6 in a row. And he will face Sweet Lou Piniella here to start the Yankees' 5th. And Piniella, that's going to be a single. So Bain up and throwing, and another hit or walk in this inning. He will be coming into the game. Greg Nettles steps in, 2-6. That's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop, and Gerber up with it, flips to McManus over to Sisler, 6-4-3 double play. So just as quickly as he appeared to be getting in trouble again, Davis induces the ground out. 3-9, Willie Randolph, and that's going to be a single. Randolph will try and steal on a roll of 3 or less. Not going to happen. So I know what I said, but they're going to leave him in to face Paul Blair. 6-8, and Blair smokes that, but Sisler reaches out and snags it. So the L3, and the Yankees get a pair of hits, but the double play takes care of business. And that will be Davis's last inning of work. We're going to close the books on him and bring in Bill Bain the next inning. So Davis, he goes 5 innings. He gives up 7 hits and 7 runs. 3 of those runs are unearned, however, as again his defense was atrocious behind him. He does walk 3 batters and has a total of 1 strikeout. And also gives up the home run to Munson. So Bill Bain, when the Brownies next take the field, will be the pitcher for St. Louis. And Bain in 1922 had a record of 4-5 and a 4.56 ERA. So he will face Bucky F. and Dent in the Yankees' 6th inning. So we head to the top of the 6th now, and Guidry, who has had some rough spots as well, has given up 4 runs. He'll face Baby Doll Jacobson to start it off. The pitch. And 5-9, that's going to be a strikeout. So Gator breaking off the Louisiana Lightning on Baby Doll, and one down for Marty McManus. Here comes a pitch. 3-8, struck him out. Oh, I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong place. It's going to be a ground ball down to third base. Nettles takes care of that. So they said McManus got a piece of that potential third strike. Comes back and grounds out to Nettles. 2 down. Hank Severide steps in, and 3-11, and that's going to be a walk. So Severide trots down to first base, and that is Guidry's second walk of the day. Chick short and ready to hit. 2 and an 8, and that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. Dent up with it, flips it to Randolph for the short way. And no hits, no runs, 1 runner left on base. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Score remains 7-4, and all of our action thus far has taken place within the first 3 innings in terms of scoring runs. And as mentioned, the new pitcher for the Brownies, Bill Bain, and he'll start it off facing Bucky F. and Dent. And Dent digs in, waits for the pitch, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Not quite as prodigious as his Fenway blast in 1978. Put away at the track there, and that brings up the top of the order Mickey Rivers. And that's going to be a catcher X. And 17, and Severide is a 2. And roll 20-sided die again. And a 1, pass ball, followed by a strikeout. So that's the second time Rivers has gone down on strikes today. 2 down as Roy White steps in to face Bain. Here comes a pitch. And pops him up. And circling under that is going to be McManus. He puts it away. And Yankees 3 up, 3 down, 6. We head to the 7th inning, still 7-4 New York. And leading off for the Yankees, or the Browns in the 7th inning, will be Wally Gerber, 9th place hitter in this lineup, which means the powerful top of the order is coming up next, and he grounds that down to Nettles. Nettles up with it, whips it over to Pinello, 1 down. Top of the order, Dick Tobin, and Guidry has handled him today. 0 for 3, struck him out twice. 6-7 is going to get him again. No, Tobin smokes this. Randolph ranges, leaps off his glove, and that's going to be a base hit for Tobin. And Tobin, not the greatest of Steelers on this Browns team. He stays put. That brings up Eddie Foster. Foster has a hit in 3 tries today, has scored a run, 2-7. That's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. Dent up with it over to Randolph, flips it to Pinella, 6-4-3 double play, and that retires the side. 1 hit, no runs, nobody left. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch, if you will, at the old ball game. The Yankees lead this one 7-4. And Bill Bain back on the mound to face the Yankee captain, Thurman Munson. And Munson, he with the great 70s porn mustache, steps in. He has homered today, flown out, grounded out second base. Here comes a pitch from Bain. And that's going to be a skinny double chance, needs a 1, doesn't get it, and instead that's run down in left field by Ken Williams. So 1 down. Cliff Johnson up. Johnson in at DH today, has singled twice, has scored a run, has a couple of ribbies. 2 and a 6, and he grounds it down to Gerber. Gerber up with it over to Sisler, 2 down. Lou Pinello, the batter. And Sweet Lou, and that's a line out right at Foster, who gloves that. And the Yankees, Bain having his way with them. That's 6 that he has faced and 6 that he has set down. So he's keeping the Brownies within striking distance as we head to the top of the 8th inning, and our score remains New York 7, St. Louis 4. And we thought this was going to get all kinds of out of control early on, but the pitching has settled down, stabilized as George Sisler steps in. 4 and a 10, and Gator down to Nettles, who is a 1 at third base. And that's going to be a 9, and nice play by Greg. Scoops it up over to Piniella, and 5-3 on the put out there. So Guidry has done a fairly good job. He has given up 4 runs, but they were bunched. Only 6 hits on the day for the, 7 hits on the day for the Brownies, which after their 22-hit outburst, including 10 in 2 innings against Ken Holtzman in garbage time yesterday, is a victory, I would say. 5 and a 9, and Gator bends a slider off. Williams looks foolish. Heads back to the dugout where his seat awaits, kicks the water cooler, doing his best imitation of Billy Martin, who absolutely destroyed the Yankees clubhouse yesterday after that beat down. 4 and a 10, that's going to be a ground ball to Nettles again. And Nettles makes a nice backhand scoop and over to Piniella, and that is the inning. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 8th. So the Brownies running out of time, and Guidry has done fairly well against the top of the order. The heart of that order, Sisler, Williams, and Baby Doll Jacobson, they do have 3 hits, but they haven't exactly wreaked a whole bunch of havoc. Jacobson is 0 for 4, Williams 1 for 4, Sisler 2 for 4. So holding that crew to those numbers is a pretty good outing. And Bill Bain comes back out for the 8th, pitching marvelously in relief of starter Dixie Davis. Has faced 6 Yankees, has put 6 Yankees down. And 3 and a 5, that's going to be 7 in a row as Nettles grounds it out to Sisler. Takes it to the bag himself, 1 down. Willie Randolph up. Here comes a pitch from Bain. 6 and a 6, and that's going to be a skinny double chance. Willie just out of the reach there of left fielder Williams, and he's going to coast into second with a stand-up double, and that is the first hit given up by Bain in 2+ innings of work. And he placed that one just perfectly, just ticked off Williams' glove, and before he could get it in, Randolph safe at second, Paul Blair up, and pops him up to shortstop. Gerber calls everyone off, puts that away, 2 down, Bucky Dent up. Dent, 1 and an 8, and that's going to be a line out to third base, and Foster, positioned perfectly, gloves that. So the Yankees do get a 1-out double from Willie Randolph, but cannot score, and we're heading to the top of the 9th, and score remains Yankees 7, Browns 4. And in the Yankees bullpen now, Sparky Lyle is up and throwing. Gator hasn't really been touched. He's only given up 2 singles since the 3rd inning when he gave up a couple of runs. So they're going to leave him in. His pitch count is not that high, and he seems to be in a bit of a groove now. So McManus up to start off the 9th inning. 6 and 11, ground ball down to Piniella. Piniella not at his usual spot, but does a nice job with the leather there. 1 down. Hank Severide up. Sevy, the pitch, 2-3. And that's going to be down to Nettles. Candy hopped Greg over to first base, 2 down. So Gator 1 out away from the complete game. Victory to even the series at 1. Chick Shorten steps in, 2-7, and Shorten rips that one. And 19, that's going to be a triple when the dust clears. He ends up at third base, and Wally Gerber set to come in. Sparky Lyle now warming up a little bit more feverishly. If Gator does not get Gerber, he will be coming into the game. Here comes a pitch. 6-7, and that's hit hard. Randolph's way, can he get to it? He cannot. So RBI single by Gerber, and we're back to the top of the order, and that's going to be lights out for Ron Guidry. So worst case scenario there. Gator had been cruising since the third inning, but he gets into trouble in the ninth, finally tires. So Guidry, he's going to end up going 8 2/3 innings. He gives up 9 hits and 5 runs to date, all of them earned. He has walked 2, did not give up any home runs, and struck out Struck out 7. So he stands to win it if Sparky Lyle can put the Browns away here. 2 down, runner on first, and Gerber, he'll try and steal on a roll of 3 or less. Not going to happen. Tobin steps in. Sparky the pitch. 1-8, and that's going to be a potential run score. That's going to be a double. Double runners advance 2. So the Browns will not go away, and there are runners on second and third now. 2 down. Eddie Foster up, and Foster represents the go-ahead run here as our score is 7-5. The tying runs both in scoring position. Lyle the pitch, 5-5, and 14, and that's hit hard between first and second. Piniella lunges and just makes the snow cone grab. The game is over. That saves potentially 2 runs, in fact, probably 2 runs, as Tobin would have scored on a roll of 1-16. So a big play by Sweet Lou Piniella, and saves the day for Guidry, Sparky, and the Yankees. But again, the Browns make it interesting late here. They score 1 run on 3 hits, leave the tying runners both in scoring position. And that's the ball game, folks. The Yankees rebound, and they're going to take game 2 of this series 7-5. And our final line scores. For the Brownies, they got 5 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors. The Yankees made the most of their hits, got 7 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. The big blow in this one, a 3-run home run by Thurman Munson back in the first. Got the Yankees off to a great start, and the St. Louis defense was appalling. Those 2 errors led to 3 unearned runs, which was pretty much the difference in the game. So, great game. The Yankees got off quick, but got stifled by Bill Bain in relief. And the Browns, they didn't go away. They stayed around, clawed their way back into it, and had a chance to tie the game in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Just couldn't do it. So that sets up game 3 of what's turning into a very competitive and entertaining series. And once again, your final score here: Yankees 7, Browns 5. Ron Guidry gets the win, and Dixie Davis a loss. He's now 1-2 on this replay. So until next time, thanks for watching, and keep rolling for the fences. We'll see ya.